our 1 o'clock show today. I'm Frank Buckley. Have a great morning. Now over to Jessica.
Thank you, Frank. Well, recently we've been seeing celebrities battling diabetes, which has brought more attention to this disease. But diabetes isn't just a disease, it's a national epidemic. And joining me this morning is Dr. Andrea Pennington. She's here to tell us about this silent killer and how to control it. Good morning, doctor. Good
morning.
to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Well, I think we could start with this because I think a lot of people maybe are confused about the difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Could you explain that to us and break down what the difference is?
Sure. With type 1 diabetes, we typically call it juvenile onset.
Right.
Usually happens when you're a child. It's genetically linked, and that's when your pancreas stops making insulin. So you require insulin to live. So they get injections or a little pump.
And so that's something you're born with?
Well, you're born with the tendency, and yes, it develops in childhood.
Okay.
Whereas type 2 diabetes, which is the largest number of diabetes cases in the United States, is really tied to our lifestyle and our diet. So if you're overweight and if you're not moving your body enough, your body does not respond to insulin. So your body still makes it, and typically you don't need insulin shots unless it gets really out of control.
And so I've always, and I don't know if this is a misnomer or if this is true, that sometimes excessive amounts of sugar, certain kind of foods, if you were to eat poorly or have too much sugar, that could increase your chances of getting diabetes. Is that true?
It doesn't really increase your chances of getting diabetes, but if you are overweight, if you are inactive and you eat a very sugar-laden diet, you are putting yourself at risk of things like heart attack, stroke, erectile dysfunction.
Not good things. And a lot of guys perked up at that one right there. Okay, here's some staggering statistics, actually. 57 million Americans are at risk for type 2 diabetes.
That's right, and you mentioned it. It's the silent killer. We have millions of people out there who don't even recognize any signs or symptoms until something terrible happens.
It's too late.
Exactly.
And then over 65% of people with type 2 diabetes will die of heart disease, but then 9 out of 10 of these diabetes-related deaths are preventable.
That's
9 out of 10?
And actually, that's the good news.
Yeah, that's fantastic news.
Even though this is the silent killer, if we change our lifestyle, we can prevent and in some cases reverse type 2 diabetes.
Well, let's talk about your 3-step plan. Lay it out for us, and for those people at home that are wondering, how can they change their life a little bit and make this not a risk?
That's right.
And save lives.
Exactly. Our goal is to help you diabetes-proof your life. So step 1 is to know your numbers. It's not enough for you to ask your doctor and they say, oh yeah, your numbers look good.
And numbers meaning?
Your blood glucose at fasting, your cholesterol, your blood pressure. Actually get them printed out and save them in a binder for future reference to see if they start trending up.
And then keep a food diary.
Right. Step 2 is to really assess your lifestyle, your nutrition, and fitness habits. That means, you know, keep yourself a little diary here, logging exactly what you eat. You know, Americans, particularly adults...
We may not want to read that after we have a bad day of eating.
Exactly. Yeah. But the reality is, if you start tracking it, including journaling when you've hiked or when you've done some exercise, even dancing or bowling, you can start to look at that week by week and realize, you know what? I am doing something to protect my heart and every other part of my body. And it's about giving you positive momentum.
And we want to get to step 3 really quickly. What would that be?
Right. Step 3 is to commit to do something every day, because these little steps can add up to a lot. And so one of the things I recommend is plan ahead. Nutrition is the key. We really can diabetes-proof ourselves. Starting with breakfast. A lot of people say they're not breakfast people, but fruit is nature's original fast food.
Yeah.
Have some fruit or have some cereal.
And we're running out of time, but I want you to mention the DVD that you're offering. Tell people about that.
Sure. We've got wonderful tips online for you at diabetesproof.org. And for the first 100 people who join the site, which is completely free, and mention KTLA, we will give you our Diabetes 101 DVD.
Dr. Andrea, thank you so much for all your help today. Really good information. Go to our website if you need to find out more. We got it all there for you. Coming up, even if you don't like football, you want to stay tuned for those Super Bowl commercials. We're going to give you a little preview of that. And Do It Yourself is the name of the game for Doritos, a sneak peek of what's in store for their ads coming up next. We'll be right back.